you all be seated, please. We're about to start. Please be seated. Thank you. Very good evening to one and all. We meet again tonight for another talk. Very interesting one. Permit me now to introduce the presenter for tonight. She's none other than a very good friend of heritage and culture. She's very passionate about these two things. And she's very dedicated to our city and all it holds true for. It's my pleasure to introduce to you Josephine Chua. Here. Josephine Chua comes from the line of one of the Chinese captains of Malacca, Captain Chua. I don't have this joke, unfortunately. She's a descendant of Captain Chua, who was largely responsible for He was largely responsible for Po Santing, which is the foot of Bukit Cemetery, and also Cheng renovations and so on and so forth. So Jo is from that line, and she's going to present to us a talk on Bukit Since it has got many things to do with things that are largely Chinese, but there will be certain twists and turns along the way. Jo always surprises us with things like that. We are also in the month of Bulan Tujuh, and we're going to talk about cemeteries on top of it now. You know, graves and things like that. So I wanted to make sure that things will be okay for us. And taking a cue from our administrator of the Malacca Heritage and History Club, which you find on Facebook, Bert Tan over there at the back. Bert is a firm believer that for everything we should actually have insurance. We must have insurance from bad luck as well. So that's the very reason why I've chosen to wear this Peranakan batik shirt and red to ward off all animals and things like that for us. Okay, now, okay, come. Yeah. Okay, things have arrived. You want to set up first? You set up first? Okay. Now, while Jo is setting this up, just as I digress a little bit, I'm also very pleased tonight to introduce to you two descendants of a historical character from Malacca. May I present to you Sandra and Genevieve Minjut. Can you please stand? Now, who are these two ladies? Okay, most of you would have gone up to St. Paul's Hill. And at one time, the graves in the compound of the governor's our residence was restricted to other visitors. Today, it is open to the public. Now, they are the direct descendants of Adrian Minjut. Have you seen that grave up on St. Paul's Hill? Adrian Minjut? Tour guides, all behind. You know that or not? Adrian Minjut. You know where, Jo? When you come up from the old gate, that side, then on the right hand side there's a row of graves by the fence. The grave is there. It used to be in the residence compound. It was fenced up. Now the gate is open. You can go in and see. There are other people there from Barrett also who are quite famous. So go there and have a look at the names. The sad part of it is that these graves are in danger of losing the heritage due to poor maintenance of the site. You know, the grave of Adrian Minjut and his wife, the the tombstone itself has been battered and worn out by branches falling down on it and things like that, and others also. So perhaps maybe something to be done. So if you're ready now, are we? Oh, we're ready. So okay, now without much further ado, it is my pleasure to present to you Josephine Chua.
Put nearer.
Put nearer.
Okay.
One moment.
Yeah, okay, good.
Okay, test. Okay, right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you. Thank you very much for coming here. My friend, my old classmate from Australia all the way, thanks for coming. Dr. Lim from Penang, thanks for staying over, and all of you. Now, it's very easy to talk when I'm overseas, because people don't know what I'm talking about. But I don't think there's anyone here who doesn't know about Bukit China. Can I have 3 persons to tell me what they think Bukit China is, or anyone? 3 persons? Okay, thank you. Another one? Tour guides. Yes, Dr. Lim.
This is not product of any research. I think commonly said that it was a gift from the Sultan of Malacca to Hang Nico
Right.
over the But Meta Hang Nico was a real character of a fictitious legendary character. Maybe you can enlighten us later on about it.
Right. One more. Debbie. Hi Debbie, thanks for coming. One more question, one more person. Bukit China, what is it to you? Yes. Right. Okay, you have touched everything that I was going to say, and I think there's a lot about Bukit China that all of you know already. So bear with me. Any talk about history will send people to sleep. I've got 50 over pages, but not 50 over slides, but 50 over pages. And this being the 7th month, I will not go into ghostly stories. I have none actually. Yeah, I've got stories about snakes on Bukit China, but I have no ghost stories. So bear with me. If we have a special man here, he's the coffee man of Malacca. So if anyone feels very sleepy, just look for Joe. Right. So as Dr. Lim has talked about, we have very prominently the Ming records. So we would expect actually that the Ming records would carry things about Bukit China, right? Because it's a Chinese hill. However, from the records that I've looked through, the works of the Malay scholars, the Portuguese, the Dutch records, the earliest mention of the hill is surprisingly 1562. Okay, so we know the Portuguese were here from 1511, right? So 1562. So during the Sultanate times and all that, then Dr. Lim said, what about Hang Nico and the Sultans, right? But then we have to remember that the written records of this are contained in Sejarah Melayu, which was written in 1612, 101 centuries after the fall of the Malay Sultanate. So, where am I? Sorry, not okay, so there we have the written records of Bukit China. 1562, when they have this hermitage on Bukit China, that's when they start talking about the hill, right? So this is the actual shape of Bukit China, not the shape of the Bukit China that we used to know, right? So what we know of Bukit China is this. Right. So it is only this part that is remaining right now. This part has gone. The parts that are in green, they are the graves. Okay. Now my ancestor's grave was around this side. Unfortunately, it's turned into a housing estate. Some ghost stories there, but Amy will not talk about that tonight. Right? So, from this map dated 1612, it can be seen that the extent of the boundaries of the hill covers a larger area than we know now. And next one is the air photo. So, this is the one that we know now, Bukit China. Okay? So, you see a large part of it has disappeared. Why? Because during that time we have squatters. You know, and if you squat 10 years on a piece of land, you can actually claim that land. Yeah, nearby, because it's not really filled up, you know. So if you squat around the area, you can claim. So a lot of the area around here, around this area here, where this road is actually Aidili Road. This is the Fraser and Leaf. This is the Fraser and Leaf and the Ellis Ice area. Okay? Fraser's F&N. Okay, now, so we know Bukit China as a cemetery, but long ago, when the Portuguese were here, it was more than a cemetery. It was not yet a cemetery, and there were a lot of what do you call that? A lot of tigers and wild animals up there, and these are all recorded in the Portuguese records. So besides that, we have the church, the monastery, and maybe a fort. Okay, now here is Madri de Dios, Mother of God. There's a church, a monastery there, and the gardens are supposed to be very beautiful. And here again, there's another picture here. So the Scouten is a Dutch, right? He reported that this is a noble structure on top of the hill called Bukit China. It has a beautiful garden which is enclosed by an earthen wall. It is the healthiest and the most beautiful spot in Malacca. So this building here, twice it was destroyed. The first time by the Archimedes in 1629. The second time after the capture of Malacca by the Dutch on 14 January 1964. The church, the convent, and of Our Lady of Mother of God were razed to the ground. Now, have anyone heard that there was a fort on Bukit China? There's actually an article which I owe my friend over there, the fortification of Bukit China. So whether or not, this fort actually happened, well, this fort is actually, a drawing found in 1953. It is of Dutch origins and is probably drawn in the second half of the 18th century. In the records, it shows that the plan to build this fort was approved in 1786. However, if by 1790 it's not been constructed, then the project would certainly have been cancelled due to the economy of 1791. Okay, then we see this one which looks like there's some sort of a fort here. But then again, it might be made from wood and not the kind of fort that we have. But earlier on it was said that, by Scouten that it was enclosed by an earthen wall. So probably at best that was the fort. Okay, enough of that. And have anyone heard of Bukit China water? I think a lot of tour guides, anytime when you go to Bukit China, you say you drink the water, you're sure to come back, right? So I don't know, I've never left Malacca. I drank the water and I've not left Malacca. Well, in this old picture, we can see that, there's somewhere here, it's called Prigi Raja, spelled Trigue because it's spelled in the Portuguese style, 1613, this map. Okay, and This is the well that was the well in the picture just now. So, never mind. The well was very important as a source of good water, such that in 1677, Governor Boksa Dutch governor, in anticipation of an attack by the Minangkabaus, he put 8 brass, I think like cannons, mounted on a plank fencing round the guardhouse, and the well was provided with a breastwork. Early in the 18th century, the well was given stone defense work, which you will see here, and a contiguous stone-built guardhouse. There was actually also a guardhouse actually here next to this, right? So popular were the water from Bukit China that in some of the records they are even sold to Sumatra. You see? And how did they sell the water around Malacca? They sell it in this bullock cart. Yeah. So this is like antique picture, and this is something we hardly see. Bullock carts don't go down our streets anymore. So according to Board also, the well at the foot of Bukit China provided the best drinking water. And he also went on to mention that in Malacca, all the buildings had their own wells, but the best water was still from here. And then after a while, I think we needed roads, so we started closing wells in front of the Post Hunting Temple, the temple at the foot of Bukit China. There were several wells. Right in the middle of the road that we are traveling, the divider, there was actually a well there also. So right now, in the vicinity, in almost like a straight row, there's one across the street, one there, and the one that we saw, and one at the back of the temple. So this is Yankee Leong's picture, which got through courtesy of Audrey, and it says that about the municipal. That's not working again. Actually, here the municipal is going to close, so the cows going to go out of job. The people who are selling water, buying water, they're all going to have some problem, because I think that time we didn't really have proper piping yet for water. Okay, then you know who the PRs are. In Malaysia, it's not very easy to be a PR, but once you're on Bukit China, we hope there'll be no more issues, like what we had in 1984, and then the people there will all be permanent residents. Rest in peace. Okay, now this is a Japanese grave. It's the grave of Mr. Hasegawa. He died in 1861, and he died on board actually a man of war, and he was interred in Bukit China. So this little news clipping actually tells you that every year on the 3rd of April, the Japanese community of Malacca held a religious ceremony at the graves. At this grave. So now you have Japanese people buried there. But some 30 years ago, my dad, I asked him when I read this article, where's the grave? And he says that it was near where the Keishan school is, and where you actually drive out your car, there are a few graves before the steps going up, the 200 over steps going up to Bukit China. And it was there, and he said it's a Japanese grave because it's got 4 characters. So there you are, Hasegawa, 4 Chinese characters. So I suppose it was written in Chinese characters also. And I was talking to my general manager this morning, and during the tenure of one of the trustees, he said that they have dug it up, and either brought back to Japan, or they might have been buried in the Japanese graveyard here. So I heard that there are a lot of interest in this Japanese grave. So one day maybe we can do an excursion, go to Japanese graveyard in Bukit Paru and see whether he's been interred there. Okay, and we have also Chinese captains as PRs there. In our temple records, we have 10 Chinese captains. We could name 10 Chinese captains. Captains, for those who are not familiar, are the people who are the leaders of the community. There's a captain for each ethnic community during the times of the Portuguese and the Dutch. Right? So on Bukit China itself, we have the first Chinese captain, Teh Hong Yong, the second Chinese captain, Li Wei Ting, fourth Chinese captain, Chan Ki Lok, sixth Chinese captain, Tan Seng Yong, seventh Chinese captain, Tan Ki Hao, and the eighth Captain Chua Chong. The ones in between, we have not been able to trace them. The first one is Captain K. This is actually a reburial. The original grave, part of the original grave still there. There's another exhibition for Colin and Bert and Audrey. And this one is Captain Lee. It is actually at the foot of the Bukit China, but not that section which is under the Chinese temple, but after the road. You know where you have the beef, something like that, and you go further down and you go down the road and then you have this one. So I asked whether I should tell this story about Captain Lee. Captain Lee is the second Chinese captain. He was succeeded by his son, who is the third Chinese captain. So I read the story given by J.R. Skies. It seems that a geomancer had prophesied that if the construction of Lee Kap's grave was made 3 feet deep, I thought we were all buried 6 feet, but 3 feet deep, the son Lee would prosper. But if it is this deeper, his son-in-law will prosper. So it so happened that the pit was dug 3.5 feet deep. In consequence, the good fortune of inheriting the captaincy went to Chan Lakwa, the fourth Chinese captain here. Here, this man here. And Chan Lakwa also actually did many things for the Chinese community. So now we also have Muslim graves there. And if you go right up to the top, there's this grave they say is an Achinese warrior. And in the Malay writings, this is also interesting for the tour guides, the Malay writings, the Malay says that it is believed that one of the 2 graves there belong to Panglima PD. The Chinese, the English section says it is no belief, but it is the grave of Panglima PD. Okay, and it says Panglima PD and Shamsuddin together perished at that fight. And Shamsuddin's grave is in front of Cheng Teng Temple, across behind the opera stage, and his is on Bukit China, which we find quite strange. But this section I've taken the photograph. It's not the ones at the top. The ones at the top maybe about 6. The one here more than 10 at the bottom. So we have around about 20 or so Muslim graves there. Actually, if you go after FNN, and you go up, you probably, it's not visible from the ground.
Excuse me, hold on. Let's have the talk first and question and answers at a later time. Otherwise, Joe will lose the track of talk. He may not go home tonight.
Yeah.
Okay? Never mind. We'll wait for question and answers. Then you can ask Joe the right questions. Okay? Thank you.
Okay, now this one is a very famous memorial which needs no introduction, but just for those who are not sure of it, I was told by a Singapore person that those 4 characters here is the handwriting of Chiang Kai-shek. I just heard about this a week ago, so there's some more research to be done. And in the little thing there, the granite plate here, it says, in memory of those who died, the Chinese who died fighting the Japanese. So this is a memorial to them. And then the other type of graves that we have are the clan graves. The clan graves belong to Chinese dialect groups, the Hokkien, the Cantonese and all that. And then people of the same surname, the Tay family, the Chong family, But these graves do not have bodies inside. See, they're cheering me already, even though they don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, anyway, I have a little thing there that tells you red bean, white bean, yellow bean, green bean, and paddy. But paddy with the husk. These are the things they bury, not just one of each, but the whole thing. And if you want to have a look later on, maybe, yeah. So why do they put beans? Because beans sprouts, right? Very easily. Yeah. So the idea is to, have, it signifies abundance, many children, many generations to come. So, the people will never be exhausted. Huh? Okay, and this little grave is just next to the Po Santeng temple, the temple at the foot of Bukit China. No one knows whose grave it is. Since 1984, I've had a look at this one, and I heard a story that there was a man who used to come and put fish, as an offering. But of late, like the past 10 years, he's not been doing that really. So either he's not there or what. So is anyone's guess? Is it the grave of a beloved cat, or is it the grave of a tiny baby? Okay. Now, the Chinese believes in symbolism, and this is a grave that's found on Bukit Brown, which is, probably going to disappear, like what got to do with Bukit China. And you see, very interesting thing, the flag right at the top there, between the two lions. There are 5 lines there, and you see the picture here. There are 5 colors, and these are the 5 different races. Okay, I'm just going to run through 3 photos of different shapes. You see, so beautiful. Probably they did that in front to collect water. Water to Chinese means money. And this is another different shaped one, and another one. Okay, but do we treasure, our heritage, and how do we protect our heritage on an open field? And you look at all the beautiful Peranakan tiles that decorated this grave, and they're all gone. See? Vandalism, for the sake of money, either they're drug addicts or what, they want to sell these tiles. So if people stop buying these tiles in the antique shop, then probably these things won't happen. Okay? And here the heads are missing. Some of the graves, half the body is gone. Yeah, so, yeah, terrible. Okay, this is the 1985 saga. 1984 saga, which you have brought up. I think Bukit China is very close to our heart. Whether or not we are Chinese, Malay, Indian, Christian, Muslims, whatever, this is part of the heritage of the world. So it's very precious to us. If we lose it, the world will do something, right? So there was an article which came out recently, right, on Bukit China, prior to, I think, announcement of the talk, and then my good friend Vera, he wrote this very detailed article on Bukit China. Okay, and in 1984, when this news hit the press, everybody was very shocked. Yeah, but there were a lot of denials that they were going to flatten during that time. And then we have this NCA person, he tells of the plan to level Bukit China. And he is, at that time, on one faction of MCA. MCA was fighting, there was a MCA tussle for presidency there. So it was between Neo Yipan and Tan Kun Suan. So Tan Kun Suan is encouraging the Malacca government to develop Bukit China. So Neo Yipan has to take the other stand and try to save Bukit China. So this is a man from Neo Yipan, Mr. Yo. So But then our CM said that they have no intention of destroying Bukit China, nor digging up the graves. No graves going to be dug up. And and it's not true that the soil of Bukit China will be dumped into the sea for reclamation purposes. Just for the records, they were actually negotiating with this Japanese company to buy the conveyor belt to convey all the soil from Bukit China right into what you have now, Makota Parade and all that. The first phase of Makasaya. Okay, so the secret hill was going to be part of a shopping complex, right? So, and then another story. This story has a lot of mistakes. They interviewed my father because he was a company secretary for the temple, and there was a demand for $2 million. And in this story, the temple owes the government. The demand was from 400 years ago. It's not possible because 400 years ago it was not a cemetery yet, right? And then this is the letter from the other faction of MCA. The Malacca people, Mr. Chan and Mr. Ng, they gave out this letter with several proposals of what they think should be on Bukit China instead of just graves, right? The dead are dead already. They can't feel anything, right? So take them up, throw the bones everywhere, doesn't matter. You got to take care of the living. So these are the 3 plans, all for the living, right? So you have low cost, that one. And if you look at the plan, you can see that they are similar, right? So it's probably just one plan with a little alteration everywhere, and then it's said to come, from number 1, the government, number 2, private Chinese group, number 3, the MCA. Okay. So what do we do when we have a problem like this? Here you see the 3 hills. 1, 2, and 3 here, and this is a cartoon that came out in 1984. The 3 hills, slowly, disappearing, with the cannon shot one by one, and in the end, it's all for money. Yeah. Okay, and then we have the people who are coming in to help the Cheng temple to protect, and then the people who are discussing what they should build there. Okay. So if you don't dig graves and all that, I don't see how that kind of plan can come about. Okay, so these are a few news clips where the trustees have said that they will not consider any plans for the hill because the people have been trying to slip in plans. So this happened when my dad was still in office there. They knocked at his door, they came in. They handed him a brown envelope, and then he received it, he looked at it, and they wouldn't let go. And I was wondering why he did not let go of the envelope. And then suddenly another person came in, click, 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 took a few photographs. These photographs were immediately printed and given to all the Chinese press. And the story was that, the third plan has been delivered to the temple, right? So my mom was very sharp. She told the chairman that we're going to give a third plan. So the trustees, you see there, Kun Swan's faction letter written, that was the one. So the chairman, Mr. Yulin, he called for a press conference and showed them that he is returning the envelope unopened. Okay, so Kun Swan was very unhappy about that. But we don't care about whether he's happy or not. But without this man, Mr. E. Yuli, who was a lawyer and the chairman of the Cheng Temple, without him, we would have lost the hill because we wouldn't be, so sure of what the constitution is. And Cheng Temple is an act of parliament. So you have, what do you call that? You have the parliament protecting the hill also because hill belongs to Cheng. So we had a letter, an article written by Tan Siu Chu. She is the granddaughter of Tan Cheng Lock, daughter of Tan Siu Sin. She was working with the Star at the time. And then one person, a monk from Bukit China. A monk went to Bukit China. He has actually already left Malacca, but he's very good at humanity. So he just came out of, how shall I say, reclusive, he just didn't want to meet people anymore. He just wants to concentrate on his prayers and all that. But he felt that Bukit China was very important. So he came out and came down to Malacca and he wrote this, and then very time Nanyang reporter translated it all in Chinese. Okay, so if you want a copy, just get it from me. Okay, so he says that he predicts the black centipede, which is a symbol of wealth and good luck, will continue to move towards the north, maybe up to Pringgit Jaya, Bukit Baru and Aiko. In 1984, it is unheard of that these places will be developed. So the prediction was quite accurate, right? Then we have two very wise men of Malaysia in the persons of Tan Sri Dr. Tan Chee Kun and His Royal Highness none other than our Tunku Abdul Rahman, who more or less said that keep away from developing this hill. Now, I quote Tunku Abdul Rahman. He said that he advised the Chief Minister that no development should be carried out on a site which the people hold sacred. In other words, don't build on the tears of others. You see? And this is a beautiful article, The Essence of Democracy. Very well written. After that, of course, when you talk about graves, there's a lot of taboo. So, after all the things that have happened at Bukit China, we had actually 3 deaths associated with the people who tried to stop either the Bukit China walk or whatever, and 4 people who were in deep trouble, who went bankrupt, things like that. Tan Kun Swan, everybody knew, went down, right? And the other guy, Chantik Chan, I think, I don't know much what happened to him. But then the roads, the Chief Minister felt that he has upset a lot of Chinese. So the matter was sorted out in the courts because the claim for the quit rent is not valid, right? So it was thrown out of court and then we got back to China. So it was actually, Chief Minister was trying to pacify everybody by changing the name of Jalan Bukit China. We can still see the name here, Jalan Bukit China, and they put a new one, Puteri Hang Lipo. That's the date, October 3rd, 1984. And then this is the old map, Bukit China Road. Then it became Jalan Puteri Hang Lipo, and then Lorong Panjang, it became Jalan Laksamana Chinpo. Okay, and to some, that is evidence that Cheng Ho went to the hill. I do my research differently. Okay, that was the first wave of the attack on Bukit China. This is the second wave. Okay, to commemorate Cheng Ho's 600 years of sailing, they wanted to celebrate it worldwide in the places where Cheng Ho went. So those years ago, there was a statue of Cheng Ho that was bought, and they had nowhere to put it. They insisted they want to put it on Bukit China. And if you have a detailed study of the 3 plans that I showed you, there's this, one of them has this huge Cheng Ho tomb. Now Cheng Ho died at sea, and there's a commemorative stone for him in China, and a commemorative stone for him in his hometown. Okay, so he doesn't need another tomb here because everybody got only one body, right? And then there's a huge temple to Cheng Ho. There's a huge cultural Cheng Ho Cultural Museum, all on the flattened Bukit China, right? So the second wave, they were trying to fight the Cheng Ho Ting's decision not to allow the statue on the hill. Firstly, because Cheng Ho is Muslim. Secondly, it is inappropriate because it is a cemetery. And they were not suggesting to bury the statue 6 foot down, or 3.5 feet down. They were suggesting to put it on top. Okay. Now the other argument was that it cannot be right at the top because then the statue will be higher than the mosque. And the Muslims do not allow, their hadith, they do not allow a Muslim personages to be put on display. So in this forum, they were talking about where to put the statue. So, and then they say that Cheng Ho says that hill has got nothing to do with Cheng Ho. So now, what do we do? To prove that Cheng Ho went there, that his soldiers stayed there, and since there were 12,500 graves there, why don't we dig up all the 12,500 graves and see whether underneath this grave were any soldiers? You know, after 600 years, we close all those spots, so you can see. And I think we have a majority of Chinese down here. When we go to the graveyard, our ancestors' name is there, right? Why should we put 12,500 names of other people just to cover up Cheng Ho's soldiers? I don't know. So I don't know whether this was an intelligent suggestion or not. Okay, this is the third wave of the tussle over Bukit China. Our then representative to Parliament, another lawyer, Mr. Wong, has he thinks it was good to gazette Bukit China. And then the temple also didn't agree to gazette, because once you gazette the property, management of the property is taken out of your hands. And why would the government want to take care of the Chinese cemetery? You know, if you go up to Bukit China and look at the Muslim graves there, they are in very poor condition. You know, they are all broken and everything not taken care of. So why would they want to take care of the other 12,000 Chinese graves? So I think and I hope, you know, after so many attempts to level Bukit China, that the government will listen. It's a very famous phrase now, listen. Okay? So we hope the government will listen. Okay? And not Mr. Bukit China anymore. Now we come to this very interesting part, which is all the myth and what's true. So I think it's very important for us in our own hometown to portray the correct information to the people who depend strongly on us when they come from a foreign country, or you know, if they are researchers of history. You know, I think we owe a duty to give a proper information. So the temple at the foot of Bukit China, the name is Ho San Ting. Okay, and I don't know whether there are many people who can read Chinese here. Yeah? Joe, you're not putting up your hand? Okay, so now there are two Chinese characters with this word Pao, the Mandarin Pao, D-O, okay? Now one is to protect and one